Did you know that Shake Shack, the massive franchise with close to 500 locations around the world, actually had humble beginnings as a little hot dog stand in the heart of New York City? Imagine, from sizzling hot dogs to a revenue surpassing $900 million last year alone. A true rag to riches journey that transformed a small hot dog stand into a global, multi-billion-dollar brand. To understand how Shake Shack went from bringing in a few dollars a day in the early 2000s to having a market cap of over $300 billion today, we have to understand what the hell happened. Shake Shack started in 2001 as a little old hot dog stand in the middle of Madison Square Park, New York City. It was thought up by Danny Meyer, who at the time owned a restaurant across the street from the park. The stand was initially created as a philanthropic effort to support an art institution in the park. However, the hot dogs were so good that the cart stayed in business for the next 2 summers. The year after that, the New York City's Department of Parks and Recreations, the Madison Square Park Conservancy, granted a contract to Shake Shack to create a permanent food kiosk on the 12th of June 2004, giving Shake Shack its first official location. A couple of years down the road after Shake Shack's summer hot dog stand got its massive following, Danny and current CEO Randy Goretti came up with the concept of the restaurant on the back of a napkin. Is that crazy? An interview with Forbes, Goretti and Danny sat and scribbled his vision for the modern version of a roadside burger stand on the back of that napkin. That's the current theme of Shake Shack, a roadside burger stand. Now, if you looked at this napkin, you'd understand what the founders were thinking when they first set up shop. It contained many of Shake Shack's classics, like the burgers, crinkle cut fries, and frozen custard. It even had a couple of ideas that hadn't made it on the menu yet, like a tuna burger, donuts, and even espresso. Free the donuts, Shake Shack. Free the donuts. The restaurant had an immediate success because even as it grew, the crew stayed dedicated with simple recipes made with high quality ingredients, making the Shack Burger one of the most popular fast food burgers in the nation. So popular, in fact, that it took waiting in lines for over 2 to 3 hours just to reach the counter. They even had to install a webcam known as the Shack Cam in the restaurant, which allowed people to check on the length of the waiting line before deciding whether or not to queue up. The lesson? Don't do anything weird while waiting in line at Shake Shack. In 2010, Shake Shack expanded its operations beyond the borders of New York City. Picture this: the Theater District, the Upper East Side, and the trendy Chelsea neighborhoods all became part of Shake Shack franchise. And guess what? They even ventured into the sandy shores of Miami South Beach, making that their first location outside the Big Apple. Fast forward to 2011, the Shack sensation wasn't slowing down. It was like a game of Monopoly, but instead of houses and hotels, Shake Shack was claiming prime locations. Grand Central Terminal? Check. JFK International Airport? Check. And let's not forget Citi Field, where the New York Mets play ball, strategically placing their burger havens in the heart of the action, turning transportation hubs and ballparks into sizzling hotspots. It wasn't just about the food. It was about shaking up the scene and turning every burger bite into a taste of the city's pulse. They basically turned waiting for a flight or cheering for a home run into a full-blown Shake Shack experience. Smart and strategic. By the time 2015 rolled around, Shake Shack's commitment to high-quality ingredients like 100% all-natural beef and the focus on fresh, premium offerings started setting it apart in the fast food landscape. The brand's clever marketing and unique positioning as a modern roadside burger stand added to its allure. Shake Shack successfully created a sense of community and nostalgia around its brand, making it not just a place to eat, but an experience to be shared. Do you hear that, restaurant owners? An experience. International markets appreciated Shake Shack's commitment to using local ingredients whenever possible, giving each location a unique flavor that resonated with local tastes. The brand's dedication to sustainable and ethical practices also appealed to the global audience. Shake Shack's popularity and global expansion were fueled by a winning combination of ingredients, a distinctive brand identity, strategic marketing, and an ability to adapt and resonate with diverse markets around the world. In 2021, Shake Shack wasn't just any burger joint. It was a sensation with over 300 locations worldwide. In the fourth quarter of that year, the revenue soared nearly 29%. 29% to a mind-boggling $203.3 million. There's more. For the whole fiscal year, the numbers went even higher to a whopping 41.5% increase, reaching a jaw-dropping $739.9 million. The company also employed more than 7,000 workers and opened 36 new domestic company-operated stores and 26 new licensed stores in 2021 and added 45 to 50 new locations in 2022. But what's so special about Shake Shack? Their crinkle cut fries, for one, is one item on the menu that has converted a lot of first-time diners to loyal, repeat customers. To think that they tried to take them off the menu at some point is absolutely crazy. Why were they going to take these off the menu? Well, this was because they got reviewed by the New York Times and got a 1-star review because the paper stated that it wasn't exactly psyched about Shake Shack's frozen taters. This made Shake Shack executives do a U-turn and start selling fresh fries. And in a bid to get that same feeling, they spent around $1 million trying out different fresh cut fry styles. But even with all that, the customers weren't down with the new decision, as a lot of them were already hooked on the crinkle cut fries, frozen as they were. Aside from the fact they're getting complaints from customers on nearly daily basis, the new decision was also taking a toll on the staff, as they had to prep over 2,000 potatoes each day, which resulted in kitchen staff sustaining injuries. Eventually, the company budged and brought back the crinkle cut fries, which remain Shake Shack's French fries of choice to this day. Hospitality also plays a vital role in the company's ability to keep on raking in the cash. In a podcast a few years back, Danny explained his recipe for success: hospitality. He talked about this big epiphany, which was discovering the major difference between hospitality and service. How hospitality has an emotional aspect relating to how the team members make customers feel, and service, in contrast, relates simply to performance and the technical aspect of a business. In other words, service is all business, technical. Hospitality, personable, emotion. In the restaurant world, all the big heavy hitters, the big boys, all provide hospitality, not service. Meyer's restaurant culture is focused entirely on hospitality versus service. When he reviews his team members, he focuses 51% on hospitality. That is how they make the customer feel, and 49% on performance. That's a winning formula, and in this case, $1 billion formula. Every team member knows the hospitality distinction and the criteria for the reviews, and it is what makes Shake Shack culture thrive. Danny learned to scale so easily by focusing almost entirely on culture and then leaving success expansions up to his team members. His obsession with hospitality wasn't just directed to customers alone, but also to his teammates, who are his top priority, vendors, and the community at large, aka winning leadership. To maintain culture, every team member is taught the hospitality versus service distinction and reminded that customers remember how they are made to feel more than anything else. And let me ask you something. When you buy a car, do you want the car salesman to seem like he's trying to make a quick buck? Or do you want someone who seems like they care about getting you the best possible car at the best possible price? That's service versus hospitality. In addition, each team member is empowered to do whatever it is necessary to make the customers feel taken care of. And team members are also required to take care of their teammates with a similar obsession on hospitality. #winning. Another little piece of Shake Shack's success is the fact that they served breakfast. In 2015, they started serving at just 3 locations: JFK Airport, Grand Central Terminal, and Washington, D.C.'s Union Station. This made a lot of sense because these were spots with all the major transportation hubs where travelers would want to grab a bite before heading off at all times of the day. And the menu started off really small. They just had 3 types of breakfast sandwiches and coffee. Despite the company's overwhelming expansion, they maintained the community as vital, and as a result of this way of thinking, each new location had been designed specifically for its own uniqueness. Part of that was that their menu wasn't left out of this innovative thinking, as their locations across the country had slightly different menus depending on their location. Just something to intrigue the customers. Like in Philadelphia, they served dessert called the Liberty Shell, which was basically a vanilla custard. And in Boca Raton, they had a Dogmeister, which is a hot dog topped with shake cheddar, American cheese sauce, and crispy ale marinated shallots. Other times, Shake Shack incorporated popular regional items, like in Coral Gables, where they served key lime pie. Shake Shack's secret menu also played its part in the company's wide acceptance, as they had been known to have a pretty extensive list of well-known secret items, with the peanut butter and bacon shake burger topping the menu. The chain had this delicacy on its initial official menu, but had to take it down because of fear of peanut allergies and cross-contaminations as it scaled. But to order it, you can simply ask for a shack burger and a side of the company's peanut butter sauce. Drills it on the burger, you're all set. There's also the popular quad burger. This is precisely what it sounds like. 4 beef patties squeezed into a bun. You can quad any type of Shake Shack burger. Just ask for the 4 patties. Then have at it. Other secret menu items include the Shandy, half beer, half lemonade. The Shack-Cago burger, shack burger with all the toppings of the Shack-Cago dog. And the beer float, a scoop of frozen custard and a beer. As the company continues to expand, it will surely work overtime to preserve its commitment to quality and community. So next time you're being wowed at a Shake Shack, or you see one being built, and you're impressed by how fast they're expanding, how good their food is, just remember, it all started with a hot dog. Anyway, that's all I got.